recording.
You love to surprise me. Yes, we are recording. You just like. My name's
Sorry.
Devon. I'm also known as Rambunctiousky on Ravelry. You can also find me on Instagram as Dynamic Devon.
And I'm Heather, also known as TinyKiwi. So thanks for joining Sisters of the Holy Fiber, episode number something.
Episode. See, this is what happens. Episode 56.
I love to harass you. I'm sorry.
No, you're not, and I love you.
Little bit sorry. It's my good luck day.
Yes.
It's your birthday day, kind of.
Because today is Friday the 13th of October, and I was born on Friday the 13th, so I've never been superstitious. Thanks, Mom.
Pretty much, yeah. And she's my good luck charm, so yeah, it's my good luck day.
Yay!
Pretty much.
I don't have any finished objects.
Okay. I do not either.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
So let's
other than
move.
my old clothes, I don't know if you can see it, but
Did you
that's
make
my
it?
old... Huh?
Did you make it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Can
it's
you
super cute. I can totally see it. Okay, just stop putting your hand in front of it. There you go. It's very Halloween-y.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? Okay, that totally counts as an FO. Tell me all about your bow.
I made it when I made these guys. Do you remember these guys? Oops.
No.
So, okay. I got these bows off of some candy or something, and I was like, they're totally just nice little satin bows, and they're already tied up pretty, so I'll just sew one of these little skull charms on it, and I have ready to go Halloween, hair clips and stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's part of my Halloween wear. I've been trying to wear something Halloween-ish this whole month, so either earrings or a hair clip or something like that.
Cool.
And then maybe
That's
at the same time...
that's very into it. I am not that into it.
Yeah, I usually am not, but that's about as good as I get. So, and then I wanted some more Slytherin, themed stuff. So I made these guys. I made a sort of a series of them. Let me see if I've got another one around here. This one I don't have a clip on because I stole the clip off for something else, but here's another one.
I like that style of bow.
Yeah, I had a fun time making them, so I mostly use this one the most. It's just kind of the most comfortable one. But, yeah, I call them my Death Eater Memorial Fund Raising Ribbons.
Death Eater Memorial Fund Raising Ribbons.
Yeah, because I imagine that some little girl went around with a box with quarters, like a UNICEF thing.
Fund.
Yeah, to help out the families of Death Eaters wrongfully imprisoned.
Wrongfully imprisoned? If they are Death Eaters.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh.
An update on my skull earrings. These guys,
Yes.
I actually managed to get nail polish on them, and they don't irritate my ears at all. And even though they kind of hang low, they don't really irritate my ears. They're not.
Yeah, I thought you said they were a little heavy. Are they heavy or are they not?
They felt heavy when I first put them in, but wearing them, I didn't notice them at all.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
yeah, turned out quite well.
Cool.
They're
They're really cool. Those are so in the season too.
Yeah.
They're super.
I've got more whips.
I have whips, but you go whips. Whip it up. Oh my goodness! Look at you. I love your fascinators. You're so creative.
I didn't do this yet.
You didn't do it. Oh, okay.
Okay. No. I bought this at Michael's, and I'm gonna add to it and take some stuff off.
Oh, okay.
So
it was already done like that. You're still creative, and I still love you.
I love you too. So it's got these little bats on pipe cleaners, and while it's kind of cute, they're flat and they're not that interesting. So I'm gonna take those off. So and what I got was this big old bundle of feathers. That's it's one of the like for floral arrangements and stuff. You know, when you have sort of non-floral floral arrangements. I don't know what you would call that. I don't know if you can see the color okay, but they are kind of green toned.
Yes.
So it's pheasant
kind
feathers
of showing up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my hopeful plan is, because this one already has some sort of green toned feathers on it. The feathers are black with sort of like green iridescence. I was just going to put the feathers like on a sideways jaunty thing. Da-da! Sort of like
da-da.
Yeah. That's kind of the general plan.
How jaunty.
The thing I wanted your opinion on was whether to take this rose thing off. Because it gives it a bit of silver and kind of grounds the center, but it also looks a little tacky, you know? Like, it doesn't look very expensive. I mean, granted, the whole thing's not expensive, but I would like it to look a little bit higher class, especially since the feathers I'm using are actually quite nice, you know?
Yeah, I can see your point. What about some of that silver ribbon instead? I mean, I like what you mean about the grounding the feathers, you know, like that effect on that. But maybe like one of those like a little flower made out of ribbon, you know?
Yeah,
like
and they had one other style that I was looking at, and it had a much nicer, like a black rose. It was made out of like thin organza with just a little bit of like glitter on it, kind of on the edge a little bit. It wasn't as in your face, and it looked a lot more subtle and more like a flower and something like less like you hot glued it together, you know? Like this one still has hot glue strings on it. So yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to wear a mask with it. I'm trying to put together a Death Eater thing. We'll see.
Oh.
Because I have my Slytherin robe, and, you know, it would be just an easy thing, and it would be a comfortable costume, you know, because it's a robe.
Yes.
So we'll see. If not, I might just do a couple of things like the witch hat and stuff, and just call it a day. Because I'm not going to get too into Halloween costuming this year, so I just don't want to spend the time or money on it.
Yeah, Terry was like, what are you going to be for Halloween? And I'm like, for what occasion? We don't do Halloween things. For sitting around and watching the Stranger Things second season premiere on Netflix? I don't know. So anyway, it was just like,
I'm a Parselmouth.
I love you.
Yeah, so I also got this little snaky guy, and he sits on my shoulder so nice, so he's going to be part of everything.
Oh, cool.
I was thinking about repainting him a little bit to make him look, a little less like plastic.
He needs some like silver stripes.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing it like his belly, you know, because they have two-toned, like a garter snake, you know, where it's kind of dark. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my thought process. You know, we'll see what I get around to with school being what it is. So, at the very least, I have the pieces to put something together last minute if I have to.
There you go. Well, I think you've got you have a nice plan already. So
yeah, that's my hope. So we'll see. The rest of the stuff I have is just new stuff that I bought. So what are your whips?
Okay. So, here are, I think last time I just had a ball of yarn.
I can't remember.
But I have socks now.
Oh, so pretty.
So, I'm knitting 2 at a time. This is, Hermione's Everyday Socks. It's a simple, 3x1, it's 3 knit stitches and then 1 purl stitch pattern. So it's like super easy. Mm-hmm. And then a plain knit row, and then, you know, the purl stitches, you know, they jog back and forth. But it's a really good pattern for variegated yarn because those purl stitches, like they kind of like pull up the fabric, like the color from below, for just a second. And so otherwise, I feel like these would look super pooly to me if it didn't have the Hermione's Everyday pattern on it. But because it has that little bit of texture in it, it's not pooling.
Right.
It doesn't bother me as much.
Right. Which is the important part.
Which I think, I would. And I was worried when I first started knitting these that the pooling was going to bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But the dyer does a pretty good job, of, and this is like a one-off colorway, like she's just playing around on the dye pots thing. So it's not even, she was just playing around. So you get what you get.
Yeah.
This is called, like Rocket Fizz. I can never remember, and obviously I didn't look it up.
That's okay.
Anyway, this is Woolen Vine yarn. Pattern, I already said. Needles, no idea.
How are you liking working with the yarn?
No idea what these needles are. Oh my god, this yarn is it's like butter.
Oh, nice.
It's so nice to work with.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So this is her footsie base, which is a really nice hard-wearing sock yarn. And I really, really like the yarn. Cool. I want more of it. And now that I'm knitting with some, I can order more!
Perfection.
Yes. So, what else do I want to say about the socks? Oh, the pattern has a modified Eye of Partridge heel. I don't even know what that is, but apparently I'm doing it because I'm following the pattern. Just to see. I was like, modified Eye of Partridge heel? What? What are you talking? Okay, whatever. So, normally, the way I've done my heels before is, so for the heel, I'm in the middle of a row here. This is not, anyway. For the heel, I've already started the heel flap. And so for the heel flap, you would slip this stitch on that side. And then you slip every other stitch. And then on the way back, you knit everything. And it's still stockinette stitch, but you end up slipping. So that has that slip stitches on the other side. And it helps the heel not get a hole in it. So that's what people do to help the heel not get a hole in it. I've never gotten a hole in my heels, but that might be because I've always knit heels like this.
Right.
I like to do, so this is a heel flap and gusset heel for a sock. You can do a short row heel, which you can also do it it's called an afterthought heel. You can just knit a tube, cut a slit, put in a heel. I did an afterthought heel on a pair of socks years ago, and I don't like the fit on my foot. I just don't think that they fit.
Yeah.
I think, for my foot. So the gusset flap and the heel and gusset, the heel flap and gusset fit my foot better. So that's what I always do after that.
Right.
But this pattern on the edge of the heel, it's garter stitch on either side. So then when I pick up stitches on this side here, I will just pick up into each of the garter purl bumps. So anyway, I'm interested to see how I like it, and I am super happy to try out another heel flap.
Sounds cool.
Because that's how exciting things are around my house. Heel flaps!
Nonsense. That's always the way with new knitting things.
Yes. No, I know. I'm just joking around. But so I'm really excited that I finally cast it on. I kept talking about it, and then I finally did it. They're flying off the needles because I love working with this yarn. And I have nothing else to work on right now.
Yeah. I
have decided, by the way, I did some thinking about Terry's sweater.
Okay.
The yarn that I was using is scratchy. And she doesn't like scratchy things.
Right.
And and lately I've been, like on the podcast you've seen that I have been buying indie yarn, and I've been working with some better quality yarns.
Right.
That I like a lot better. And so I think that I could get some much better yarn for a sweater for her.
Mm-hmm.
That would be next to skin soft as she would see. Because a lot of wool people are like, oh yeah, it's next to skin soft. Like Brooklyn tweed, like I can wear that next to my skin. But she would be like, no, it's scratchy. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, yeah. I think about it in terms of like an autistic kid's skin sensitivities sometimes, where even something to you that may seem fine is just horrible to them. So
it's not.
Everybody's got their own limits.
Yeah. So that's why we have not seen that for a while. I put it down because I was thinking about the design of it, and then I started really thinking about the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I am yarn hunting. I want to find something that is soft, maybe like with like 50 bamboo, 50 wool, or something that's got, or like alpaca, like 80 wool, 20 alpaca, something like that, or like an MCN, merino cashmere nylon, like that base. But I need to find it. Probably not an indie dyer because I want it solid. I mean, I could probably ask them to dye something solid and they could do that. It's probably harder to do variegated.
Right.
But that's kind of what I'm looking for right now.
Right.
I did go to... Oh, and then my other brain epiphany was that I should knit it for her in sport weight because she hates bulk.
Oh.
So if I can make a sweater that's less bulky, she'll wear it more.
Right.
Duh. And I can choose the yarn weight.
Right.
It can still be warm, even though it's sport weight. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about more like a sport weight or like a light worsted DK. I think DK's in between sport and worsted, right?
I can never remember.
I can never remember either, so I'm gonna have to look that up. I want whatever is like one below worsted. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
So that is my new plan for knitting Terry's sweater.
Cool.
The other yarn, I don't know what I'm going to do with it because it's superwash, so I can't felt it into anything.
Right.
It's too scratchy to put into baby wear.
Right.
Too scratchy for like baby blankets that you want to be superwash. So I really am not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also have like 6 more balls of it because I bought a sweater quantity for me as well because it was on sale. And I was like, whee, yarn's on sale. So I might see if I can destash it on Ravelry, something like that, like listed as stash for sale. So
yeah.
So I'm not super happy about that. I did do a lot of work on that project.
Yeah.
I knit that thing like 3 different times, but in the end, it'll be something that the point is that I want to make something that she's going to wear. What is the point of continuing on with the project if in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's too scratchy. She's not going to wear it. It's too scratchy. She's not going to wear it. It's too scratchy. She's not going to wear it.
Yeah.
So I have started listening to that little voice in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I did go to, I think I can move on. Yeah. I don't have any more whips. Do you have any more whips?
No.
Mm-mm. Okay. So I did go to Cattywampus Crafts
Uh-huh.
in Hawaii with my friend last weekend. And I did look for yarn there for her for another sweater.
Mm-hmm.
But the yarn either was like too bright of a color, it was like neon in your face green, or it was too dark, or it was the wrong fiber content, or
right.
I'll probably go back and look again. But I'm on the search.
Right.
But I did buy more sewing patterns.
Yay!
So these are Colette patterns, and they kind of build themselves. I was on their website, and sewing patterns that teach. That's their kind of little motto thing, and it's true. They have these little tips in here. Let's see if I can find one without. So they have these little, like, why should you stay stitch? So on this page, there's directions for part of the pattern that you need to stay stitch. And then it has these, like, little helpful tips for people who don't know what they're doing. Me.
How helpful.
How helpful. I also really I like how their design of their patterns, because the booklet is attached to the inside.
Nice.
So it's just a really nice little booklet, and then the pattern is in this little pocket here. So I like just how the pattern is laid out.
Yeah.
So Kristen Lair of Vine Yarns, I might have said her name wrong, but that I'm using to make my socks, she just made a zinnia skirt. So she just made one of these. And I was like, I want to make one. That's such a cute skirt. It's got pockets. Who doesn't want pockets in their skirt? And I also, like, somebody else somewhere else on YouTube I saw had just made one. And so, like, it's like, okay, I'll buy the pattern. So
Sold.
I really want to make, let's see, changing light here. Ooh, that was hot light. Okay. And now I look like I'm in Ghostland. I am trying with my lights, but this is clearly still not ideal.
You look orange to me.
I look very orange. It's an October podcast.
Yay!
Anyway, I don't know. Here, I'll turn it off. That's better. Let's leave it like this. I look normal. Okay. Yeah. I want to make this out of, like, a light wool. Like, I want, like, a wool skirt. I think like a plaid wool skirt. That'd be nice. Or this one in plaid. So this is the Dahlia dress. And there's two different versions. And this one, you can make it, if you make it in a little bit heavier fabric, you can wear it during the winter. And then this one is a nice summer dress. And the edges are finished with bias tape, which I've never used before. And there's a zipper in the back, and I've also never installed a zipper. So that'll be two new things that I can learn how to do.
I would suggest getting pre-made bias tape for your first foray into bias tape. Otherwise, you might lose your mind.
Oh, yes. I will be purchasing bias tape. Cattywampus Crafts didn't have any bias tape, so I didn't purchase any, but I'm going to buy some. So the other fun thing, I'm just going to list the fabrics for the Dahlia dress, because I wanted to make another dress, because I just made a dress, and I was like, dress! Had so much fun. So, Voile, Voile, I don't even know how to say that, rayon challis, batiste, cotton lawn, silk crepe, chambray. Those are the suggested fabrics. I don't know what any of those mean together. So when I was there at the store, I was like, I don't know what these mean, help. And she's like, I'm a knitter. I can't help you either. I'm just here for helping my friend. I'll look it up on the computer and see what I can do. So we were looking through the fabric together. She was very nice and helpful. And she's like, here's a chambray, and here's a voile, and here's the section where the cotton lawns are. Mm-hmm. And they had some really pretty cotton lawn patterns that I think are prints that I think would make really cute summer dresses for that in doing that summer dress pattern.
Right.
But we're going into winter.
Right.
I still think that this fabric is pretty light, so I don't know how much where I would get out of it in the winter, but I bought chambray, so now I know what chambray is because I bought a bunch of it.
Wow.
So here's the color.
Cute and tweedy.
Yes, it's very like kind of tweedy, and it's just lovely. It's a really lovely, lovely fabric. And I also...
Is it made of linen or cotton? Never mind.
I forgot to look.
How do you know how you're going to wash it? Stay tuned next time on Sisters of the Holy Fiber to see what happens to the dress she made as it goes through the wash. Will it come out all wrinkled? Who knows?
Probably. Well, I will wash the fabric before I make it. Who do you think I am? Yo. I bought a zipper. Okay. It seems awful long, but that's the length it said, so.
Because they come in preset lengths, it's better to get one that's long, and then what you do is you just bar tack back and forth with your feed dogs down where you want it to end.
Sure.
Just bar tack.
Okay. I'll call you. Thread.
The feed dogs are the little stuff on the bottom, the little teeth on the bottom. Mm-hmm. And there's like usually a button or something in the back where it goes ka-chunk, and then it drops the feet down, and then it just like your fabric doesn't go anywhere because the feed dogs are what advance your fabric.
Oh, that's how you do that.
Yeah. And then you just set it to like zigzag or something, and then it just like
goes back and forth.
Yeah, and then you just do that until you've got a wad of thread there so that the zipper will stop there. And then you cut whatever's left on the back side of the zipper, you know. I know it sounds complicated, but it's much easier than it seems.
Oh, no, I'm all for it. Sure. Whatever. I am just, I just dive into sewing. I'm like, whee! Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's perfect.
Whee, let's sew things! Have a good time. My knitting is going everywhere. That was a bad idea. So I once again highly supported my favorite craft store.
Always worthwhile.
Yes. I need to put that in my caddy.
In what?
I do the show notes now while we're doing the episode because it's just easier.
Yeah, smart thinking.
It's just easier. Okay. So that was sewing. I haven't actually sewn anything.
But sewing prep, you still, that still counts.
Yes. I have to wash the fabric before I can cut out the pattern. I also need to decide which skirt I want to do. I didn't realize, I have to say, this dress doesn't have pockets.
That's a fixable problem, especially if it has side seams. It's much easier to insert than you think.
I would like to do that because I want my pockets.
I understand.
Why have a dress without pockets? What is the point? The current dress I'm wearing, no pockets. What? Why?
No. Yeah, exactly.
I believe, I'm going to have to get out the pieces. I can't really tell from this if there are side seams.
Okay. Even if there's not, you can always make a decorative, because what you'll do is basically cut a slash in the fabric and then fold it up so that, it doesn't have a raw edge. And then you put like a fancy pocket facing in to kind of cover up where there's a hole in your fabric now. And then the pocket.
There are side seams. I just found out.
There's solutions, whatever you do.
Yes. I was thinking about that too. I was like, what if I just put some fabric in there and then when I sew it, I'll have a pocket? I was thinking about it. That was my thinking face. Isn't it beautiful?
It's beautiful. Just the hardest part with pockets is making sure all your fabric is going the right way, because you want to have the right sides of the pocket together. And then, like when you put your hand in, you don't want to hit a seam. Doesn't really matter, kind of, but...
Yeah, because everybody'd be looking at my pocket.
No, it's mostly just because it catches lint and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm real good at sewing the wrong sides of things together.
Well, that's why I mention it.
That was the facing debacle last time.
Those are done.
But that dress is done.
Yeah, it's
kind
fun.
of. I haven't really finished it. I haven't tacked the facings down.
It is wearable.
I should really do that tonight.
It is wearable. It is done.
Yeah, that's true. I have worn it 4 times.
I was going to say, at some point in every artist's life, you just need to accept that your piece is done and walk away.
Yes.
Whether or not you think it's really done. So, depends on if you're happy with it, though. Like if you're still unhappy with it, butts with it.
I'm happy with it. It's fine. Take a look. It's in a book. It's reading rainbow.
Don't sue. Trademark.
I got Terry a membership to the Planetary Society, and so we get the Planetary Society magazine. Oh, why are you sad face?
Farewell, Cassini.
Oh, yes.
So sad.
So this whole magazine is about the discoveries that Cassini made during its journey. And it's so full of science.
Yay!
And it has no ads in it because...
because you paid for
Because you paid for it. Because I bought her a membership to the Planetary Society. So this is something that Terry and I like to do. We'll either buy each other a subscription to a magazine or to a membership to something. And that way it's still a gift, but it's not a thing. Like, this will recycle when we're done reading it.
Right.
So, but anyway, I love reading these when they come. I understand 50% of what they're talking about, but I'm like, science! And I feel like I get smarter every time I read one. And on the inside, they have these advertisements. They do these, it's kind of like science vacation. That's what I call it anyway. Science vacation trips. And it's fun to dream about having the money to go on those things.
Yes.
But anyway, that's what I've been reading lately. That's been really fun. The other nice thing is because I usually don't read during the school year, and a magazine with its short articles is about the length I can handle.
Yes, I understand completely.
But I also just wanted to plug the Planetary Society because it's Bill Nye's
brainchild. Yeah.
So there's a letter from Bill Nye.
Thank you, Bill Nye.
Yay. I think I was showing myself.
No.
It's not showing anyone.
I saw a brief picture of Bill Nye. He's very distinctive.
Yes. I like this muchly. Although they do send it to Mr. Devon Nelson.
Oops.
I did mention woman. Oh, well, whatever.
Right.
Only men are interested in science.
Right. Don't get me started. So, I have some books. I have 4 books. So, I might...
just some. I have 4. Okay.
Yeah. So, I might split that up. I'm still kind of deciding. Now onto books. Oh, look what I got. The last of my favorite annotator.
Yay!
David M. Shepard.
Did it just come out?
Well, I don't know if it just came out, but I check somewhat periodically, and this is the last one to come out. This is the annotated Mansfield Park by Jane Austen with the annotations by David M. Shepard. Yes.
David M. Shepard?
Uh-huh.
David
M.
M?
M as in mother?
M&M's?
M as in malfeasance.
Mansfield Park?
Yes, like that. Anyway, I was super stoked when I saw it because I was like, I totally don't need to be reading a freaking novel length. Well, it's like double novel length because it's not only Mansfield Park, but on the opposite page is the annotations, which we love. Yes. So I'll probably be doing that when I should be studying. But who cares?
Oh, well.
Yes. You gotta take a break sometime.
Yes,
and then I'll grab the other books. So this one was the one I was most excited to show you. So, Moss Bonsai and Green Arrangement.
Hey! Cool.
So, yeah, let me find some good pictures.
Is that a Japanese book?
It is, yeah. So it's like how to do your own little, here, hold on, the flyleaf's going off. Just, like living arrangements. So they use succulents and then like surround it with moss, what you need to take care of it, how to put it together. They've got the step-by-step guide of, how they assembled it. Let's see.
It's always fun when your gardening involves tweezers.
Right? Here's like the different kinds of mosses that you can use, like for different textures and colors. It's just a fun book.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Let me show this side because it's got some cute little flowers. I don't know if you can see the flowers, but.
Yes, tiny little flowers.
Yeah. So that was fun. It's a lot of how-to. I mean, look at how small that this pot by my finger is. Let's see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of like little tiny snips and putting things together with tweezers and, uber tiny bits of dirt and clay and stuff. So if nothing else, a relaxing book to look at.
Yes. Very cute.
I know. It was so cute. I couldn't resist. And here's another crafting book I got called Macrame Interior.
Cool. Macrame is kind of having a comeback.
Yeah, it goes through phases. But the reason I got it is because it has actual patterns in it for hanging plant holders and different kinds too, not just the usual one-shot plant holder. Let me find some of the other ones. And since I'm trying to move away from metal and plastic, I thought that's a good idea to, start learning how to make my own plant holders.
Right.
Here we go. Let's see if I can get it in frame. I don't know.
Yes, right there, right there. That's really cool. Some
more, just different. The thing I liked was that it was like several varieties,
Yes.
And sort of how to work around the pot that you have, the pot and plant that you have. Yeah, like this kind of shows like two completely different styles. Like this one looks like, like a grocery bag, like the grocery bags you take for your produce. And then this one's like way more open. So anyway, and it has other things too, like just wall tapestry, what do you call them? Like a curtain divider and stuff, like room dividers.
Sort of neat. Yeah.
So it's more than just, the plant holders, but the plant holder part was the part that I was interested in. Mm-hmm. Like here they're using these as like some like cafe curtains.
Mm-hmm. Pretty.
Yeah. So, and they give the lengths and everything for what you need, which is always what I kind of find hard about eyeballing macrame is like, well, how much am I going to need for this project? And it always ends up being short, So, like, here's the thread we used to make this one, and here's how much you need for each one, Like, I can do that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so
use cotton,
probably,
right? Sorry.
Huh? You can use anything. They use different things. They even use shoelaces for one of them.
Hey.
So it just depends on the weight of what you're going to be holding and the size and everything. So I'll probably going to have to wait for this semester to end to work on any projects that big, though, because it does take a fair amount of time to do macrame. And I don't know the knots like sort of instinctually, so I'm doing a lot of like checking and make sure that I've got the right, right facing knot, left facing knot kind of thing. So it takes me a little bit longer. And then the last one I got was total brain fluff, and I love it. Just sort of like a style magazine, but they feature different creators' workspaces. So it's the projects that they're making, and like a look at how they're making it, and then their workspaces. Let me find a good example. And one of the artists is a metalsmithing artist. Here's one of the ladies doing her little needlework stuff. Like, she's got her little, stand set up with the thread and everything. And then let me find a bigger picture of the work she's actually producing. I know I had a bigger one. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I'll just find this one for now. But I don't know if you can see the little owl needle stitch thing. Yeah, so she kind of stitches it onto the fabric and then like does a blanket stitch or like cuts it out and does a blanket stitch around the edge, and then she makes brooches and stuff out of them. So it's all sorts of cute little wildlife things. And
cute, yeah.
They're not all stitched. Some of them are like needle felted. Some of them use like sequins. And here we go. Here's a bit more of the menagerie. I don't know if I'll be able to get it in picture since it's so high up there.
Cute. Aww.
Yeah, so super cute stuff, So it was just kind of like an inspirational thing. Here's the metalsmith guy and his like little home setup, like how his tiny space, and he's doing all that metal work in it.
Wow.
He's even doing casting and stuff. So I thought pretty inspirational too. Like he's got just like a trash bucket with all his hammers and stuff down by his legs. I was like, brilliant idea. Why didn't I think of that for all my hammers? You don't need a hammer rack. Just put them in a little bin and they all keep each other up. Brilliant. Brilliant. So, just fun stuff. And they have some how-to tutorials and stuff too, like this one has one on making little flower and succulent stuff out of like shrinky dink material.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's just really crazy how like cute and like lifelike some of them look.
Yeah.
So
I bet you could fake somebody with that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And more macrame pot holders.
I told you, it's back in.
I know, it really is. Cute rings and stuff. Just a lot of sort of not too complicated how-to crafty stuff for making your own crafty lifestyle. So I get stuff like that just mostly to stay sort of inspired about creating, when you see.
And it's nice yeah,
like the positive spaces that people create in also makes me want to make my own little creative space, So it helps keep my mind when I'm going crazy with chemistry. Like, yes, I can be a metalsmith too.
I really like seeing other people's creative spaces, those spaces that people carve out where they get to create. And I don't really have one. It's something I've been like, I'm working towards having my own like special space for that, but like I have a space like where I do a lot of my knitting and things, but I don't have like a sewing area.
Yeah.
Like I would really like to have a dedicated sewing place that I could leave my machine at.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Part of it is that I have a desk that I don't use very much that I really like the look of, but it has there's the desk and then it has a hutch. And it's a small hutch, but it makes the desk not really practical for sewing on. I could take the hutch off, but I like how it looks with the hutch on. So I just am like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work and I need to let it go and I need to get something that works.
Yeah.
So, but I already have it, so it's free.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jenny Mustard says, though, sometimes it's nice to have one thing that gives us joy just to look at. Oh, Jenny, you're so wise.
I have been keeping all of my yarn in the hallway where I can see it, and it's been really nice.
Nice.
It gives me lots of joy to see my yarn.
That does, yeah. Being in, and you can squeeze it as you go by, like, I'm going to get to you soon.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of Jenny Mustard, I wanted to mention a couple podcasts today.
Oh, go for it.
That I've been watching. So Jenny Mustard is a podcaster, and I'll link, everything will be linked in the down below and also in our Ravelry group. So come on over there, say hi. I've been watching a lot of podcasts lately because I stopped watching Netflix. So I was trying to fill the void with something else while I'm crafting. I was finding that I was not able to stop watching Netflix. Like, I could not watch one episode of something. I would watch like 5, and I'm not kidding. Like, and it was a giant time sink. And so, and to replace that, I have been watching Real People. And I've been really having fun watching. There's some really, really fun podcasts out there on YouTube. And there's only one show that comes out per week. So once I'm done watching that show, like, I can't binge watch more. I mean, I guess I could go binge watch old episodes, but that's not as fun. So,
yeah.
So too, I wanted to mention, the Knit Girls are a pretty popular podcast. It's girls with 3 L's. And, but one of them is a school librarian. And so she talks about, like, working with kids sometimes, and she'll talk, and so both of them do a lot of reading, and so they have a book segment where they talk about what they're reading, and they also are big spinners, and so they show their spinning, which is really inspirational. They do Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup. But their podcast is not about it, but they will mention it once in a while, kind of like we mention it once in a while. So, so that's kind of fun to hear about some of the stuff that they're doing for that. And, they just seem real sweet. They are great links to other indie dyers. Like, they were talking about Desert Vista Dye Works, and they're a company that, or not company, I think it's like a lady, you know, I mean, she has her company, you know.
Right.
That makes self-striping yarn. And they have a Stranger Things colorway and a National Parks colorway and, like, some of these other colorways they were talking about. So like, I had to go down the rabbit hole and, like, look at them, of course. Yeah. And the Stranger Things colorway is so cool. It's so cool. It's so cool. And, like, we still have Netflix, mostly because I'm waiting for Stranger Things to come out. December 31st. Okay.
That answers that. I was like, do you
Not
watch?
December, October 31st, on Halloween.
Yeah.
October 31st. So that one is one I've been watching. They also host a summer knitting retreat called SSK.
And that's cute.
It looks like so much fun. It's like summer knit together or something. Super summer knit together. I don't know what it stands for.
Yeah. Stands for slip, slip, knit.
Well, that too. But they host that, I think. I'm pretty sure from the gist of it. But, you know, in Tennessee. And it's like, why isn't there anything in California?
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know.
Because it's hot.
So.
Yeah. Well,
the other podcast, sorry, what?
I said, well, there's that.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah, whatever.
The other podcast I've been listening to is called The Fat Squirrel Speaks. And she's another knitter, and she's obviously fat positive. And she's snarky and funny, and she has a business making knitting bags, but she's also a prolific knitter and knits some really cool things, and lots of great yarns and patterns and great inspiration. Fun podcast to watch. So
cool.
I've been enjoying watching her podcast too. So that is it for me and podcasts. I have one more thing that I wanted to share with you, though, and you have something to share with me. This is your kit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm just making little funny things. It's not even anything. I'm just playing with double bonds.
So the last thing I wanted to talk about was thrift store shopping. I did go thrift store shopping. Not last weekend, but I feel like the weekend before that. So all of this probably should have been in last episode, but I forgot. But I got a dress, and I'm wearing it. So I'm going to get up and show you. Ta-da!
So cute!
But it's this black and white pattern, and then if you look really closely, it's roses.
Oh, yeah. It looked like roses to begin with to me.
Yeah, I didn't notice it was roses when I first got it. But then I was like, hey, wait, roses.
How funny.
And I don't mean to do this, but I keep buying black and white dresses. I have like 4 now. So I guess I'm doing a black and white thing. I need to make some like hot pink sweaters because I want like a pop of color.
Right.
And I need like a hot pink sweater over it, and I think it look really cute.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're defining your style.
You know, my style is changing.
Yeah.
I used to be a t-shirt and jeans girl.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not anymore. All of a sudden, I'm like, all the dresses! Maybe 15 years of my life went by without wearing a dress.
Yeah.
And now I'm wearing all dresses.
Yeah.
And I only have 2 pairs of leggings. Wait, I bought 1 more. At the thrift store. I can't go get it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I did buy I found another pair of leggings at the thrift store, so now I have 3. But
Cool.
I'm wearing all these dresses with 2 pairs of leggings.
Right.
That are starting to get a little threadbare. I need to buy some more leggings.
Oops.
In exciting news, I have been looking at the thrift store for a dye pot.
That was dramatic. Is it? Yeah, nice.
I'm really excited.
I know, that's cool.
I bought a dye pot.
Did you?
Before I went to New Zealand. So this was 2006.
Yeah, quite a while ago.
Over 11 years ago. Then, when I went to New Zealand, I gave my dye pot for safekeeping to my knitting friend because I'm not going to take a dye pot with me to New Zealand.
Right.
And then, when I got back, I wasn't as close friends with her anymore, and I just kind of lost touch, and I just never got my dye pot back. Like, if I had gotten in touch with her, she would have given it back to me. But I also really wasn't dying and, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But
okay.
My friend, did that natural dyeing day. I've been saving avocado peels and avocado pits to do another natural dyeing session.
Cool.
So I needed a pot, and I found a pot. Everybody's like, that's such a nice pot. And I'm like, I know. Isn't the thrift store great?
All right.
So there was that. And the last thing I got at the thrift store were CDs.
Oh, cool.
CDs at the thrift store now are starting to become like records at the thrift store. Like, there's a lot. So that's really good. This is Edith Piaf. She is a French singer. She's kind of, if you ask the French, like, what's the best singer of French songs, they'll say Edith. They'll still say her. Like, there are still, obviously, there are great French singers, but she's kind of the epitome of French singing. So,
the household name.
yes, very much a French household name. So this was a great find. And it's her singing and playing accordion. It's great.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And I found another Dixie Chicks CD, one I don't have.
How funny.
So they've been fun to listen to. I only like a couple songs on this. This is Taking the Long Way. There's only a couple of songs on here I like, but it's nice new listening. Did I tell you that I got rid of all my CDs?
I think so, yeah.
It was like the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
Because like...
It's on my list of things to do once I get a new external hard drive to save everything on.
But honestly, I'm like, because I think also where I am in my listening world, if I lost my iPod, I would be sad. But I'd be like, oh well, I'll start over. Like,
right.
I just it's just so much lighter now, like, because I can buy new things and I can listen to new things, and then when I'm done with it, I can get rid of it and move on with my life. Yeah,
it's true.
I
need to do that, like, because I have so many CDs I never listen to anymore.
Exactly.
You know, like,
exactly.
When's the last time I reached for a Britney Spears CD? Who knows?
Smash Mouth.
I don't know. No, I don't need that. And if I ever, for some reason, need to hear that song, I'll go on YouTube. You know,
Exactly.
I don't need to be hoarding.
I keep the esoteric things that I can't find on YouTube.
Right.
I have 5 CDs now that I keep. I have 5.
I know. I mean, that's it. I mean, I would probably keep a couple of the foreign ones that I can't get here.
Exactly.
Like, I have the sound track to like a Greek like just a theater play, you know, like I'm never gonna find that again, like, unless I might maybe on eBay or something, but you know, like, but that would be one.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's the best.
Yeah.
So
I'm really
it's worth all the work of like ripping and storing it and make sure, because you want to do your due diligence,
right,
to try and keep what you have already bought, and paid
the
for.
$1,000 worth of money I've already thrown at music,
right? But on the other hand, I did do all that work of ripping all the stuff that I hadn't already ripped. And I put it on my iPod, and I don't think I have listened to anything from my iPod in at least 2 months.
Oh, wow.
I listen to the new things. Like, it's just kind of where I am with what I want to listen to. And I think also being a music teacher and saying like doing the same things over and over again, I think that my brain is like, I don't want the same. I don't want the things that you already know. I want new things.
Something fresh, yeah. Makes sense.
So, I don't know if that's... And I was talking to another music teacher. He's like, yeah, I have thousands of CDs at home, and I never listen to them. Because by the time I get home, I'm done.
Yeah. But I did want to show... Let's see. Let me finish my row. Okay. Don't drop the stitches. For goodness sake. So I got this cool stuff. Oh, look, it's molecule. Speaking of science.
That
We have my
chemistry.
Science. Yes, it is. So my teacher was using some models, like big ones, to show like, this is what happens for a gauche interaction. Woo! You know, up in the front of the class or something, you know. And then he had a small one by the same people in his office. And I'm like, that's perfect. That's portable. It all fits in this little bag. Like, it all just goes down to that. And it really helps like visualize some of the more complicated stuff. Mm-hmm. So I got myself 2 packs because I wanted to build. 1 pack, has a limited amount of things.
Yes.
So I wanted to be able to build the larger molecules too, and to have this last me through both semesters of this class.
Cool.
I've been having fun with that. I really recommend the brand. They're pretty quality. Let me get the front of it. You can see the cute little thing. This is by HGS Molecular Kits. They have all kinds, for all different kinds of chemistry too. They'll, it's basically set up for what you're going to encounter most, like in organic chemistry, it's all carbons. In physical chemistry, it's whatever they do. I don't know. Just fun stuff.
Neat.
Yeah. And this one I haven't really opened yet, so you get to see how small it compacts down.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
Which is super helpful. Like put it in your backpack and go.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ones he's using are like as big as my torso.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that set cost $500.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the teacher's classroom set with all the stuff in it,
Right, yeah.
I think that's it for us. Unless you have anything else.
That's it. One of our longer shows. Hey.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, and come find us on Ravelry. Hit the subscribe button below. Give us a comment. It helps other people find us. And thanks for watching. Bye. She wants to see you. I know she does.
Yeah, true story. My favorite godcat. Hello, buddy.
Did I tell you last week that he conveniently lost his big fluffy Edwardian collar?
Oh.
He came home without it one day.
How funny.
Where did you leave it? Where did you leave it? And
in the
Your
dumpster.
auntie was so worried. Your auntie was so worried. Is it going to come apart? Yes, it's going to come apart. It came apart and now it's gone. A tail. Okay.